No, they're not.
That was pretty quick. I thought you might take a while. You did that pretty quick.
It was quick?
Yeah. You smell any fumes now?
No.
It was just earlier, huh?
When I got in the car, it smelled like oil or gas.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell what it smelled like. But I don't think it's a coincidence that they're fuming my room. You feel me? And that this car regularly, see this? The service due 134,000 miles.
Yeah.
So the mechanic doesn't ever fix anything, and it's always fuming. So it must be fuming when he looks at it, because it'll be in the shop for like 3-4 days. You know, and it's usually when the car's sitting alone, you know, sitting around for a while, that the fumes go in the air.
Yeah.
So the fact that the mechanic doesn't feel the need to fix anything and he checks everything and nothing's leaking seems to suggest that it's not oil or gas, that it's actually fume. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually something they're doing. And maybe it's not remote controlled, because why would they do it when you're coming around, you know? But then again, if they've been listening, they know that you're not going to go on record, right? Yeah, I've got like a headache right now. Oh, I want you to look at the paperwork and for your flight and see what terminal it is, because in the airport.
Where were you when we nearly died of hunger? Persecuted by the scum of this land.
I will give you $3,000 if you can prove this point wrong. For someone such as myself to submit to mental health after all the unethical experimentations they did on record, after he has caught them on record, or anyone else really, to submit to these people, is similar to a Jew submitting to a Nazi psychiatrist during World War II. Compulsory or non-compulsory, either way, it is sick, it is stupid, it is madness. In the experiment, I outsmarted these people, showing more insight than my oppressors, and more strategy than them as well. I kept the same ginger ale box in my room, and time again I expressed on social media and on my videos a desire to have it tested by an impartial third party. Then, a few days before the test subject arrived, the camera in my room, for the first time in years, had a glitch. And the last 30 minutes just happened to not be on the camera. I had my confirmation. They had snuck into my room, they had switched out the ginger ale, and now my placebo was in place. Thank you, Big Brother, and you ignorant gang stalkers, for giving me my placebo for the experiment. You've truly demonstrated how I have superior insight, tactics, and mental conditioning. Everyone give them a round of applause. All right. Now that we have established that mental health does not consist of a single expert, just a bunch of sick liars. Sick liars who say that they just want to help people, but there are countless homeless people. You know, the same types of people that eugenicists don't care about on the streets, and no one is talking about getting them help. It's not even on the agenda. It's not even on the table. But they are talking about passing laws like Casey's law, all over America, where your family can petition the court. You know, people who have insurance and people that care about them can petition the court to make mental health rich. Isn't that funny? These liars that kill over 500,000 people annually in Western countries alone, pretending like they care about people. Or they care about what these people might do. As if a homeless person is any less likely to commit violence than a non-homeless person. Complete hypocrisy, logical fallacies, and illogical nonsense. These nonsensical, indignant, unethical pigs have been caught yet again. They must have got to the test subject because she expressed a desire not to go on record anymore. And that doesn't matter because I already have her on records knowing that she's being recorded. And her face is not showing in the video. So I covertly recorded her around 20 minutes or so before I dropped her off at the airport. And I proved that there were there was fumes in the car. And then I systematically, logically, I calculated carefully and ruled out that these fumes in the air were anything other than deliberately placed chemical fumes. These fumes have been going on for quite some time. My car has been to the mechanic maybe 8 or 9 times. He's meticulously checked all the parts. Not a single mention of fuming. And every time I pick up my car from the mechanic, lo and behold, there was fumes. It implies a certain complicity that is very obvious and straightforward. So in this following clip, you will see her say that when she got into the car, after I had the windows down, when she went into Safeway on, I believe, around Capitol and Tully in San Jose, she no longer smelled the fumes. But when we got back from the movie theater, AMC in Eastridge, after watching Tarzan, the show began at 1:25 p.m. Today, Monday, July 11th, 2016. She got into the car and she smelled fumes and she didn't know what to make of it. She assumed that it must be gas or oil or something. Then I explained to her how it couldn't be. And she agreed, all on record. So these liars want you to believe that I'm delusional, there's no fumes in my room or my car, and no one's drugging me. But yet, I have 3 different people in my life alone, in my story alone, verifying this. And 45 minutes away, the Santa Cruz police lieutenant verifies that the law enforcement community in this area and in the next county over are well aware of gang stalking. But yet the psychiatrist in the New York Times, I believe it was a June 10th article, The United States of Paranoia by some Irish guy. The psychiatrist there and her colleague did a study of 128 or 138 people who claimed gang stalking and found that all of them were likely delusional. So are psychiatrists evil? Are they stupid? Are they liars, or some combination of the 3? I would argue that it's a combination of the 3. Because to be evil, you have to be stupid. To lie when 500 million people are dying annually, right, in Western countries alone, you have to be stupid. It's stupid to value money over human life. And now that I have thoroughly established that you people have been cheating, remember my first claims of covert drugging go back to 2012 on my Wu Chan channel, I believe it was, where I specifically stated, corroborating evidence to what is going on now, when I said that they're drugging my weed. That was the first incidence. And then shortly in 2013 and on, I started talking about them drugging my food all throughout my Top Martial Artist Challenge. You see, I went from being a star basketball player to being one of the fastest martial artists. I am the top martial artist. I can outmaneuver them and kill them, or I can outmaneuver them and dunk on them. It's the same kind of strategy. I understand how they think, how they move. I exploit their weakness, and I accomplish the task at hand. I am Chukwu Emeka, the top martial artist, as I have said almost 3 years ago, and proved it definitively every moment of every day since. And I've also proven that I am being persecuted for my political views by people who on record, mainstream news, Fox, said that they systematically terrorize people with gang stalking. So let's get this absolutely straight. It is okay to terrorize people in America even, as long as you do it to advance the government's agenda and the secret society's agenda, the Democrats and the Republicans' agendas. But it is not okay across the world to terrorize people if it contradicts or conflicts the government agenda. But we all know this already, right? Because on record, the government funded Al-Qaeda to fight with ISIS in Syria and Iraq and al-Nusra and so on. So we know this on record. That's the government collaborates with terrorists to get things accomplished. Just very few of you were smart enough to see that they do it here as well. This isn't Iraq or Syria. I have the government on record, 100% proof. There's no other way it could be. The careful observer, I have asked 5 people so far. Every single one of them has said yes. There's no reason to doubt any of your videos. Yes, it does take a genius to see that these are authentic and these experiments were carefully performed with placebos and all. Even stating what was going on in the news to establish that they took place on the days that I said they took place. Ladies and gentlemen, mental health is full of shit, and they are killing people. And anyone who votes for any law to even help, to quote unquote help people with substance abuse problems is helping mental health. Because what do you think would happen if they took me in for drugging? Say they're drugging me with some prescription drug that I don't have a prescription for. Then they can make the excuse that, hey, I'm a drug addict, and they could use laws like Casey's Law to have my family petition the court to take me in to rehab when I'm not a drug addict and they're covertly drugging me. And let's not forget that Willie Brown, one of the former mayors of San Francisco, has already called for similar legislation right here in California for people with quote-unquote mental illness, that you have not committed a crime. You are not a threat to yourself or anyone else, but your family can petition the court if the government uses, maybe taxes they owe, their debt, or anything against them to force them to. Your family, coerced by the government, can petition the court when not only have you not committed any crime, you're not a threat to yourself or others, but just because of perceived mental illness or they think you might be using drugs. Don't you see how sick that is? Now, I'm not saying drug addicts don't need help, but I am saying that this is not how you help them. For the same reason, a Jew who is being accused of mental illness during World War II, who doesn't agree, should never go to a Nazi psychiatrist for quote-unquote help. And their family shouldn't be stupid enough to support legislation to create the situation where that is going to occur frequently. Nor should they petition the court to make sure it happens. I mean, come on, people. You don't have to be the top martial artist, outsmarting everybody every moment of your life like I have to see it. You don't have to have scored to the top 1% on the SSAT like I have to see it. You don't have to score on the genius level on the IQ test, on the white man's IQ test, designed to give black people a harder time like I have. You don't have to have gone to a college prep school, one of the top college prep schools in the nation like I have. You don't have to be a software engineer like I am. You don't have to offer thousands of dollars to anyone who can disprove a single key point with over 4,000 videos, and no one's able to do it like I have to see that I am right here. You don't have to be a brain surgeon's son to see that I am right. Raised by a brain surgeon, while many of you are raised by TV and the system. You don't have to be as smart and as talented as I am to see that I am right. No one has any excuse, not even the slightest excuse, not to understand that you don't give the government a blank check and the legislation they need to do whatever they want to people, to discredit them and rape them in psych wards, to set them up to go to prison and jail to be raped in the ass. You do not have to be as smart as I am to see you cannot trust psychiatry when on record it has a history of psychiatric abuse, a history of unethical experimentation. I mean, how stupid would you have to be? I mean, don't even consider my story or how smart I am or anything else. Even if you just consider very straightforward facts. 2 very straightforward. 1, they have a long history of eugenics and unethical experimentation. 2, they have a long history of psychiatric abuse, including sexual abuse in American psych wards, including labeling runaway slaves as mentally ill and calling it drapetomania. I mean, it is very straightforward. You do not give sickos a blank fucking check to do whatever they want. You do not give the law enforcement that kills black people every fucking day in this country open season. You do not declare open season for them to lock up, detain, and institutionalize anyone they want. And these courts that always exonerate corrupt cops, you don't give them the power to politically abuse, physically, psychologically, and spiritually abuse vulnerable individuals. You know what you call someone that supports that or does it? A stupid fuck.
Persecuted by the scum of this land. Now that your calf has grown to be a bull with horns, you want him in your royal house? I accept the spear and shield. Symbols that make me a Zulu warrior. But this, I will take by force.
That guy standing right there, he's wearing a military outfit. She's got a military bag. She's got a hoodie on, like kind of cover her, you know. Hopefully I'll zoom in on this so you can see better. You know, there's no military base in small town Morgan Hill. You know, I've been the last 2 days I've covered several military stickers and military signs, and this is out of the ordinary. It never happened growing up until the gang stalking started. They want to make it clear that the military is doing it. Today is like what? The 10th, July 10th, 2016. U.S. Army retired. You see that? You see that? That's what this guy is. U.S. Army retired. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have an Army Ranger in front of us on the way to the airport. Everyone salute him. Special tactics, buddy. Special tactics. Woo!
Bring these cowards to end. Bring these cowards to end. I vehemently declare, bring these cowards to end.
July 9th.
They couldn't defeat me. All these pussies have accomplished is covertly bugging me.
No, you're not.
That was pretty quick. I thought you might take a while. You did that pretty quick.
It was quick.
Yeah. You smell any fumes now?
No.
It was just earlier, huh?
When I got in the car, it smelled like oil or gas.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell what it smelled like. But I don't think it's a coincidence that they're fuming my room. You feel me? And that this car regularly, you see this? The service do 134,000 miles.
Yeah.
So the mechanic doesn't ever fix anything, and it's always fuming. So it must be fuming when he looks at it, because it'll be in the shop for like 3-4 days. You know, and it's usually when the car's sitting alone, you know, sitting around for a while that the fumes go in the air.
Yeah.
So the fact that the mechanic doesn't feel the need to fix anything and he checks everything and nothing's leaking seems to suggest that it's not oil or gas, that it's actually fume. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually something they're doing. And maybe it's not remote controlled, because why would they do it when you're coming around, you know? But then again, if they've been listening, they know that you're not going to go on record, right? Yeah, I've got like a headache right now. Oh, I want you to look at the paperwork and for your flight and see what terminal it is, because in the airport